Hey, I'm Tim Seeley. I'm here
What have
at
I told you? What have I told you? Get!
Oh,
Get!
again. I'm at your fine store in Chicago, Challengers Comics.
Start over. That was just.
And I can keep it. At Challengers Comics, I'm going through my pull list, my stack to take home for the night. First one is the Adventures of the Forager Bug. It's from Young Animal DC Comics. It's an awesome comic. It's the entire Allred family, basically. Lee Allred, Mike Allred, and Laura Allred doing Jack Kirby craziness. In this issue alone, you get Atlas and the Forager. You get Orion, you get all kinds of the craziest Kirby concepts, and basically Forager following around a little ghost girl and a teddy bear. It's great stuff. One of my favorites. Got Invincible, which is a long-running Image superhero book by that Walking Dead guy, Robert Kirkman. It's, I think, better than Walking Dead. It's this really expansive take on a superhero universe contained into one book. It's wrapping up. This is part 7 of 12, which is the last issue, is the 12th part of this one. It's been great. He really picked up a lot of the themes and ideas that he's been doing for a long time. Ryan Ottley is drawing great stuff, and Nate Fairbairn is doing awesome colors. Love this book. I've been reading it since the beginning. This one, Dredd Gods. It is from IDW by Ron Mars, Tom Raney, a creation of the great Bart Sears. This was a weird book. I loved it. It's sort of a part of some kind of giant universe called the Ominous Press universe. Just crazy old school action superhero stuff. You don't see a lot of this kind of book anymore, so I'm always appreciative when one shows up. Art by Tom is fantastic. Then we got my personal favorite superhero comic book, The Savage Dragon. This book has been around since I was 13. I've been reading it ever since. It is on issue 224. That's how long it's been around. It just keeps getting crazier. This is sort of what happens when one man draws and writes a book for 25 years. Full of action, full of heart, full of weird ideas, great superhero stuff. You get lots of giant splashes with colorful dudes punching each other in the face. It's after you read a bunch of really smart stuff, it's always great to dive into Dragon. This I've been reading this in single issues. It's good enough to pick up the trade. It's the Flintstones, which you might not necessarily expect to be a brilliant comic, but it is. It's by Mark Russell and Steve Pugh. Basically, they take the sitcom style format of the Flintstones and turn it into this sort of Mad Men-esque commentary on society. You get to see this analogy and metaphors played out, like the birth of religion and discovery of consumerism, and a lot of things you would not expect to be played out with a guy who wears a furry orange skirt and his dino dog. But it's great. It's one of my favorites. I think it's kind of surprising that this is the direction that they let this go, and I appreciate the audacity, which is, you don't often get to see that. So great book. Totally recommend checking that out. And as long as we're at the comic store, picking up my own book. This is Tim Seeley's action figure collection. Just came out this week. It is me putting together a lot of my craziest short story comics and adventure stuff. We have Colt Noble and the Megalords, which is sort of my 80s toy cartoon meets 80s teen sex comedy. You get that. You get Jack Kraken, which is the first superhero I made up when I was a kid. Turned into a version that I created as an adult. You get the Dead Star Divas, which is sort of my idea for a weird sports superhero comic. Really fun art. I'm really super proud of it. It's some fun stuff. It's mostly an attempt to do some stuff that I don't get to do normally. I usually have to write really smart and really, deep and dark comics, and this is the opposite of that. It's not terribly deep, but it's really fun, really colorful. It's got a cool cover painted by my brother, in sort of a recreation of the stuff we used to do as a kid, sitting at the kitchen table making comics together. So I told Steve to treat it like that, like we were sitting around the kitchen table together. So that's out from Image Comics this week. You should check that out. And thanks for going through my pull list with me.